Hey folks, welcome to the channel. Let's do coding. In today's video, we will learn how to make decision in our code using if else, and switch statements. For example, if it is raining, then I will take my umbrella. Else I will leave my umbrella at home. It is not that much different when we write it in code. Let's write that. In this case, the value of rain is true and therefore it will log to the console, taking my umbrella when I need to go out. Let's see it. We start with the word if. After this, we get something within parentheses. Whatever is between these parentheses will be translated to a boolean. If the value of this boolean is true, it will execute the block of code associated with if. You can recognize this block by the curly braces. The next block is optional. It is an else block. It starts with the word else and is only executed in case of the boolean having the value false. If there is no else block and the condition evaluates to false, the program will just skip ahead to the code underneath the if. Let's write another example where if the age is below 18, we will log to the console that access is denied. Otherwise, log to the console that the person is allowed to come in. Here, when I'm setting the age to 17, obviously the else block will get executed. Let's see. And when I change the value to 18 or more than 18, then you will see the if block gets executed. Let's see another example. As you can see here, the problem is that single equals sign in the if statement. Instead of evaluating the condition, it is assigning coding to the hobby. And then it is converting coding to a boolean. And since it is not an empty string, it will become true. So the if block will get executed. So always remember to use the double equal sign in this case. A variation of the if statement is an if statement with multiple else if blocks. This can be more efficient in certain situations because you are always only going to execute one or zero blocks. If you have many if else statements underneath one another, they are going to be evaluated and possibly executed, even though one of the ones above already had a condition evaluated to true and proceed to execute the associated code block. Let's see an example where we will determine what the price of the ticket will be. If a person is younger than 3, then access is free. Else, if a person is older than 3 and younger than 12, then access is $5. Else, if a person is older than 12 and younger than 65, then the access is $10. Else, if a person is 65 or older, then access is $7. Let's see that in code. As we save and execute this code, we find that for the value of age of 10, the cost of the ticket will be $5 and the total cost will be 5. Let's try to put that age to 3, or in fact 2 years. And you can see the total cost is 0. Let's make it 66. And the total cost is 7. So our if else block executes perfectly. The code gets executed top to bottom and only one of the blocks will get executed. As soon as a true expression is encountered, the other ones will be ignored. So we can also write our example in a different way. So we can simplify our example in a much cleaner and a neater way. Let's go ahead and do that. Now our code is much cleaner and it's more readable. And as I change the age from 66 to 2, we'll still be getting the same answers. There you go. Conditional ternary operators. Ternary operators has its name because it has 3 operands. Let's look at a template. We can say operand 1 is the expression that is to be evaluated. If the value of the expression is true, operand 2 executed. If the value of the expression is false, then operand 3 gets executed. You can read the question mark as then and the colon as else here. So we can say operand 1, then operand 2, else operand 3. Let's have a look at an example and understand this in a much better way. This little code snippet will assign a value to access. If age is lower than 18, then it will assign the value denied, else it will assign the value allowed. Let's see what happens. As we can see, we got denied because the age is less than 18. Let's go ahead and put the age as 20 years. As you can see, now it is above 18 and that's why we have the allowed value for the access variable. If-else statements are great for evaluating Boolean conditions. There are many things you can do with them, but in some cases, it is better to replace them with a switch statement. This is especially the case when evaluating more than 4 or 5 values. We are going to see how switch statements can help us and what they look like. First, let's have a look at the new if-else statement. This example determines what the time is based on what we are doing. Let's go ahead and execute and see what result we get. As you can see, the activity we are doing is dinner. So the console log prints it is 6:30 p.m. We can do better to implement this using a switch statement. The syntax of a switch statement would be similar to you can read it in your head as if the expression equals value 1, do whatever code is specified for that case. If the expression equals value 2, do whatever code is specified for that case, and so on. So let's rewrite our long if-else statement in a much cleaner manner using a switch statement. So as you can see, now with the switch case, this code looks much cleaner and more readable. You must be wondering what's up with all these breaks. If you do not use the command break at the end of the case, it will execute the next case as well. This will be done from the case where it has a match until the end of switch statement or until we encounter the break statement. Let's try to change a little in our example code and see what happens if we remove breaks. As you can see, when the activity was set to lunch and we removed the break from lunch and drive home cases, then in the console we are not only getting the print for the lunch, but we are also getting the output for drive home and dinner as well, which is not something we wanted. There is a special case label, namely default. This works a lot like the else part of an if else statement. If it does not find a match with any of the cases and a default case is present, then it will execute the code associated with the default case. Let's update our activity switch case and try to add the default into that. Let's give a activity a value which is not present in the switch case. As we will save, we will find the default block gets executed. Sometimes you would want to do the exact same thing for multiple cases. In an if statement, you would have to specify all the different or similar clauses. In a switch statement, you can simply combine them by putting them on top of each other like this. For the values f and d, the same thing is happening. We are getting you have failed. This is also true for C and B. When the value of grade is F, it is printing you have failed. Let's change it to B. Let's change it to C. As you can see, when the value of the grade is either C or B, it logs the same thing. So that's it for this video. I hope this video cleared the concept of decision making in code. If you like the video, hit the like button and I'll see you folks in next video with another topic.